You know, you can go to the theater and watch movies like, oh, let's say Fantasy Island, okay? If you go with a date or one of your friends or whatever, you're looking at, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks to get in, 30 if you're with a date, okay? And then another $50+ for popcorn and a drink. So if you're covering the whole night, you're looking at somewhere around between 60 and 80 bucks, okay? To sit in the theater and watch a subpar, PG-rated, generic, let's just pump it out as fast as we can horror movie. Or you can sit in the comfort of your own home and for the low price of $5.99, you can watch this fucking masterpiece. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So I'll tell you something, I could not get in here fast enough to talk to you about this movie. True fiction. I did a trailer review for it back in May, and I have been waiting for this flick to get released ever since. It's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to see it was because it's Canadian. It's filmed in Canada, which was just fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of movies that are filmed in Toronto, but there's not a ton that are filmed in Calgary. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? If it means anything to Canadian horror at all. But I'm telling you, this movie is fantastic. Now I'm going to get into IMDb a little bit and the fucking bozos that are on there. Okay, but let me get through this first. So first of all, it is written and directed by Braden Croft. And I did say in my trailer review how awesome it is that you can write a story and then also direct your story. It just adds to it because, I mean, really, it's your story. You know what I mean? Like, you might have to deal with some production company bullshit here and there, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, if you're writing it and directing it, it's mostly you on the screen. And I'll tell you, this movie is fucking fantastic. Like, I don't even want to say too much about it. And I know you guys hate when I say that, but I'm telling you, man, like, every time you think you figure this movie out, there's like another twist or a turn. I was like, the whole movie kept me fucking guessing. Let me read the synopsis very quickly. A young writer gets a job assisting her favorite horror writer, but she finds herself participating in an out-of-control psychological experiment. Okay, so basically, there's a few people in this movie, but the two main stars are Sarah Garcia, who plays Avery Malone, who is absolutely fucking fantastic in this movie, and John Cassini, who plays Caleb Conrad, the author. I'm telling you, you will not find acting, you know, in a big budget movie, let alone this low budget indie horror movie. I mean, goddamn, and I've preached this, I don't know, until I'm blue in the face. It doesn't matter how low budget your story is, or if you're filming it on a fucking handy cam or a Red Epic camera. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a good story, you know what I mean? That will save your movie for the most part. On top of that, it's perfectly directed. I mean, the story itself is fucking fantastic. And then you throw these guys into the mix. Basically, this movie revolves around Avery and Caleb. So basically what happens is Avery is, I think she's working in a library, and she is a huge fan of this horror author called Caleb Conrad. He's lost his ability to find that fear to write good horror stories. So what he does is he wants to hire somebody that can come to one of his houses, okay, and there's this log style cabin that he owns. And what it is they're supposed to come there, and then he's supposed to do these psychological experiments to kind of bring fear out in this person so he can document it, you know what I mean? And then write a story kind of revolving around that, you know what I mean? So he can see what true fear is, so he can kind of get his niche back to write these horror stories. So Avery signs up and she gets picked right away. And that's kind of the first act. The very end of the first act, okay, is where they meet and he kind of explains what he wants to do, okay? And at first she's a little skeptical, but I mean, this is her favorite author. It'd be like meeting Stephen King, if you know what I mean. So she gives in and she goes, okay, whatever I have to do to help out with this, no problem. So he pulls out this piece of paper for her to sign this contract saying that, you know, stuff's gonna happen. and he's not liable. You know what I mean? And she signs it. And right when she signs this at the end of Act 1, you know the shit's going to hit the fan. Okay, so, and I will say, if there's anything I can say negatively about this movie, because there's not much, okay, it's just the first act is a tad bit slow, okay, just a little bit, and I would have liked to have gotten a little bit more backstory on Avery. Okay, not much, but just a bit more, because you kind of don't really care about her too much through the first act or when she gets in, but we do kind of find out more about her through the second and third act. But again, I don't want to give too much away, because trust me on this one. I know you guys will say, oh, give spoilers. Trust me, you don't want to fucking know anything about this movie, like the second and especially the third act, okay? Like, you don't want to know too much. So, but it's in the trailer, so I will give a little bit of the second act, is when the tests start. It's almost like Clockwork Orange in some scenes where, you know what I mean? Like, where they have Roddy McDowell kind of with his eyes open, in front of the screen, and they're showing them those horrific images. It's not exactly what he does to her, but it's along those lines, okay? And then he puts her in this deprivation chamber, and I mean, it gets worse and worse and worse what he does to her. And the whole second act is him just breaking her down, you know what I mean? And document it, and he does like lie detector tests, how she felt, and it's crazy. It really is, the stuff that he does to her. Just to kind of bring this fear out. And that's the second act. And I don't want to say anything about the third act, except that it's fucking bananas. And every time you think you figured something out, you haven't, okay? And the ending of this movie is fucking the whole movie, from the second act right to the very end, is fucking absolutely bonkers. And it's I mean, you just keep wanting more of it. You don't want this movie to end. It is so fucking good. And other than the first act being a tad bit too slow, I mean, and that's just me trying to pick something out. Normally I sit here and I say, oh, you could shave 10 minutes off here or whatever. No, you couldn't. I actually wanted this movie to be longer. Dare I say that? You know what I mean? The pacing is fantastic. And honestly, I didn't want this movie to end. I thought it was I wanted it to keep going, because I wanted more of these two on the screen and how they interact and the things that they do to each other. It is fucking phenomenal. And I mean, you just don't see this stuff on the big screen very often. It's these low budget indie horror movies that you get the fantastic stories. And I've said that as long as I've had my channels on YouTube. I mean, you just can't fucking beat this stuff. Yes, there's a lot of stinkers out there, okay? And you know who you are. But, I mean, when you get movies like this, it just rights all the wrong. I mean, honestly, this movie is fucking fantastic. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give it a rating. I am going to give this movie a strong 8. Okay? I just gave an 8 out earlier, I think last week, on a movie called After Midnight. Okay, check that movie out too, because it is phenomenal. But I'm telling you, this movie is absolutely fucking crazy. So I promise you will love this movie. It's hard not to. Okay, so now we got to get into this IMDb bullshit. You can click off here, because that's pretty much the end of the review. But I have to say this, okay, because it pisses me off when I see it. And I know you're going to say, oh, they upvoted it. Well, it wasn't. There's not upvoting here. I can't believe, if you go on the ratings, okay, and this is how pathetic IMDb is. And I know they can't do anything about it, because reviews of movies are pretty much just people's opinions, okay? So they can't. How do you filter that? You know what I mean? If somebody doesn't like a movie, they don't like a movie. But you can tell when somebody's just being an idiot, okay? And 8 people gave this movie a 1, okay? And I'm thinking, what the fuck do you think? Like, it's, you know what I mean? And then you go to the comments, like 2 of these idiots, and I'm calling them idiots, because that's exactly what they are. If you go down to the actual reviews, okay, and you punch these things up, the one person is Jessica Banasic. If you know this person, please tell her to watch my video, because I'm legitly telling you right to your face that you're a moron for giving this movie a 1. A burning pile of trash would at least get 2 stars. Are you fucking kidding? Did you even watch this movie? I'm telling you who these people are. Okay, so this is what she wrote. The lead actress was horrid. Was like watching somebody trying to act. Lead actor wasn't too bad. he gets 1 star. Story itself was nonsensical rubbish. It couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Okay, well right there, I'm telling you right now, you're a moron, because you probably just are too stupid to realize what this movie's about. Okay, like and I know that's rude to say, but I don't care, because it's idiots like these, okay, and there's some other person on here that gave it another review, and you can beat me up in the comments saying, well, this is this person's opinion, and you don't have any right to say that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I am saying it because it hurts IMDb and other review channels. You know what I mean? Because people go on here, and these were the first reviews to go up. There's 3 reviews on here, written reviews. One person gave it an 8, which I think is more realistic, and then 2 people gave it a fucking 1. All right, so what these people are probably vindictive assholes who may have, they might even be actors or actresses that didn't get picked up for the part or something, and they just want to like trash this movie, okay? I'm telling you right now, this movie is not a 1. This movie is not a 5, okay? And you know I won't lie to you, and I do my best not to over-exaggerate. I'm giving this movie an 8. Seriously, if you think I'm wrong, watch the fucking movie. Honestly, no matter what I say, whether it's good or bad, always watch the movie. But I promise you, when you shut this movie off, you'll be like, what the fuck did I just watch? And it won't be in a bad way. You'll be loving this fucking thing, and I guarantee you'll probably even want to watch it again. So this is a great movie, and God honestly, I know we're relatively early into 2020, but this is one of the best movies I've seen. Low budget or massive budget, this is one of the best movies I've seen, okay? And it's how it's put forth. It's all practical. The story is fantastic. It keeps you guessing from beginning to end, and I fucking loved it. So, True Fiction, I'm going to give it a strong 8. No, it is not like these 2 bozos on IMDb or these 8 people that gave it fucking a 1 out of 10. Don't listen to that horse shit. So take my word for it, because you know I'm never wrong. So anyways, check it out. It's out now. If you've seen it, chime in and let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't seen it, please go rent it. I guarantee it's worth your money. Okay, $5.99 to rent it, as opposed to, with a date or somebody, almost 70, 80 bucks to go watch, a mundane, mediocre movie at best of Fantasy Island in the theaters. Do you know what I mean? Or even Brahms the Boy 2. I mean, what? No, don't pay $80 to go see those movies, because they're really not that good. Sit at home, in the comfort of your home, air pop popcorn, maybe a drink, and watch this for $5.99. I promise you, you'll be like, oh, Happywax was right. I'm glad we didn't go and waste all that money on that pile of shit Fantasy Island or Brahms the Boy 2. I'm glad we sat at home and watched True Fiction, because it's fucking awesome. And it's gory, so you're going to love it. So, and I'm never wrong. So anyways, check it out. If you've seen it, let me know. If you haven't, rent it, come back, let me know, guys. And as always, stay scared.